Hey, this is Agent and you are learning on Agent's Maths. Today you are going to learn the whole percentage in just 6 types. Just 6 types percentage questions. If you complete, you are going to do every single question of percentage in SSC CGL. That's true, you have just heard the right thing. After a lot of researches and analysis, I have come here with the previous year questions from the recently done by the SSC CGL, where you must have seen, or if you haven't seen, here you are going to see that is the ratio based first. The second is more or less concept. I'll just explain you that how you're going to solve these questions in a very tricky way in a very short time. You'll a lot of means you have taken a lot of classes, but this class is going to be literally very resulting. You are going to make this today. You have to get ready with your pen and paper. So do not watch the video while sleeping or just lying down on your bed or just sitting anywhere. Just take a pen and paper or a copy and then start solving the questions with me. As this session is for especially those candidates who have completed their course. Okay, this is not for the beginners. So if you are a beginner, you can means send me in the comment box. You can tell me that you are a beginner and you want to learn mathematics from the very beginning for 2027 of SSC CGL. Okay, I'll teach you everything on this platform. So first ratio based, second more or less concept, third increase and decrease, fourth simple percentage based, and fifth income expenditure, and sixth successive based. Okay, so there are 6 types of questions and I would start first with ratio based. And here is the first topic we are going to learn, that is ratio based questions. Okay, in this video you will not only learn these 6 types but also how to solve a question in a very easy way, very effective way, and accurately. So the very first question we're going to see here on the board. Before I solve this question, before I explain you this question, you have to solve this yourself. Do not just wait for me solving this. Just go whatever you can do with this question. I'm going to read this question. The budget of a factory is distributed among raw materials. It means there are raw materials in which budget of a factory is distributed. Wages, raw materials, wages, and maintenance in the ratio. So there are the 3 ratios: 4 ratio 3 ratio 3. So we have 3 ratios: 4 ratio 3 ratio 3. We have 3 department or 3, just you can say, sector where the budget is being distributed. Okay, that is material, raw material, that is 4, wages 3, and maintenance 3. So 4 ratio 3 ratio 3. During a year, the cost of raw material rises by 12%, wages by 8%, and maintenance falls. So here you can see that the cost of raw material rises, means the cost of raw material, this rises, and 12% wages, that also rises, and maintenance falls, means this decreases. This does not rise, this decreases. Okay, so you can see what is the question, falls by 10%. 10%, what is the overall percentage change in total budget? So when they are asking about the percentage change, so how you are going to solve this question? It's a very easy way, that you always put 2 zeros. Always put 2 zeros. Why? I'll just tell you in this session also that how you should have the approach of the question. You always know that when it is, if it is about increasing or decreasing percentage rate, so it means that they are always we are always going to write like 12% increment. So 12 divided by 100 always. So 100 finishes 100. It means we always have the product of these two numbers always. So that's why we should always consider this. This helps us a lot. Okay, now, so here we get that 12% increment. So you don't have to see this 2 zeros, just multiply 4 into 12 into 4. So that is 12 into 4, that is 48. 48. And you will also see here 8%, that is 24. And then 10% less. Now you have to make sure that we are going to write this after decrement. So it means 10% decrement, it means 30. Okay, so 10% of 300 is 30. Now how you are going to see this? 48, 24 and minus 30. So 8 plus 4, that is 12, and 4 plus 2, 6, and 72. 72 minus 30. So you get here 42. Okay, you can see that the answer is still positive. Answer is still positive. Now, what you will not see here, like you will see here 0.4, 3.2, 4.2, 2.2, you will not get this whole number. So it means that just because we had taken two zeros. Okay, so just imagine this is 420 and put after two digits put decimal, you get the answer 4.2% increase just because this is the positive answer. I hope you must have. Now, second question, and you must try this before I explain. A family spends on groceries, rent, and other expenses in the ratio. Same particular question. I have done a lot of hard work collecting these questions and putting them in a particular way that is going to make very easy for you. Once you understand, you're going to solve almost all the questions you get of percentage in your SSC CGL Tier-1 examination. See this, 3 ratio 5 ratio 2. Next year, groceries are expected rise 8%, rent 4%, and other expenses to fall. Another that is falling 10%. So you can solve this with the previous one. I'm not going to solve you for this. You have to solve this. You must understand this. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to help you how you can imagine that is 300, 500, 200 simply, and then just multiply. The numbers are here 8, 4, 10. So 8, that is 24, 8 into 3, 4 into 5, that is 20, and then 10% less, it means 20. So 20, 20, that's done, finished. So 24, it means 2.4. Here you can see the result, increment still. Okay, so I understand that definitely you're going to solve this question if you get it now. Earlier it could have been little means difficult for you, but now I think that you can do this very easily. Now here you can see this ratio based. This is very easy question, one of the easiest questions you can say. So I know that you can solve this, but I'm going to teach you something very carefully. You have to watch this. 20% a plus b, 50% a minus b. Never do this in your copy. Never. When I say never, means never. Never do this in your copy. Don't write this question like this. So how you are going to write this? When you see this pattern, this class is not about solving and just finding the answers, but the best method to find the answers, the best method to solve it accurately, and the fastest way. Now, you are not going to write this in your question paper. Means when you just solve this in your rough sheet, don't write this. What you are going to write is, do not write percentage because both sides we have into multiplication. Do not write zeros because it is also deducted, means divided, 0 0, and then we have 2a plus b, a minus b. So what you are going to calculate a lot of things in your mind. How? First of all, do not write percentage. Okay sir, done, no percentage. If there are same percentage of zeros like 1 0 1 0, it means you are not going to write zeros. Okay sir. Third thing is that write a plus b here, a minus b just below that. Understand this, just this process, and then just write 5 and 2 just below that. Simple. This is what you're going to do. Now here most of the candidates, what they make mistake is they just cross multiply in this case, and they multiply how? 2a plus 2b is equal to 5a minus 5b, and then they, what do they do? 2b plus 5b is equal to 5a minus 2a. So here you get 7b is equal to 3a, and then b upon a or a upon b. What is asked? Always focus on the question, what is being asked. A ratio b, it means b is going there just below and 3 is coming here. So 7 upon 3 is equal to a ratio b. This is what being asked, but you don't have to follow this. Here you are going to use C and D, that is called componendo and dividendo. You must have heard of it, and if you haven't, let's learn this trick, and this can save your more than 10 seconds even. Listen, componendo, dividendo. This question, I and you don't need to use even pen. How? Now I'm going to teach you. Okay, listen now. This question does not require writing even a single letter, single any digit even. I explain you how. First of all, no percentage, okay sir. No zero, okay sir. A plus b this side, a minus b just below. 2 there, it means 5 upon 2. How componendo dividendo is taken? if it is written A upon B is equal to 7 upon 3, suppose. So if you write A plus B, it means you have added and then A minus B. So what you do, once you add 7 plus 3, once you divide 7 minus 3, so the answer is 10 upon 4. But if it is written like that, you can go just reverse. So if you get in reverse, you repeat the things in the same way. How? Now let me explain you. You don't need to write this, I told you. So what you're going to do is, you're going to add once these numbers 5 plus 2 7. Once you're going to just deduct 5 minus 2, that is 3. Answer is option number 7. Option number C. You don't need to write. So in these types of the questions, save your time. Just do this. 5 plus 2 7, 5 minus 2 3. That's it. But if it is A ratio B, if it is B ratio A, like 3 ratio 7, reverse. Okay, next question. Let's go. Now you are going to do this question is same. Tell me this, how you're going to do this. This is very easy. This is very easy question. Very, very, very easy. The question is 25% of P is equal to 40% of Q. What is the ratio? Very easy question. Ratio means P ratio Q. So whenever they say of, it means this value is to be sent there and this value is to be taken here. It means Q will always below P if they ask P by Q, and then this value should be just below that value. And I told you don't write percentage because ratio is asked. Don't write percentage. Here we didn't have 0, otherwise I wouldn't have written even 40. Okay, so now you can solve this. 5 8 5 5, 8 ratio 5, option number B. Very simple. This was asked again. Next question. You are going to do this. I'll not tell you. 3 seconds. 1 2 3, time up. What you're going to do is 3 plus 6 9, and 6 minus 3, that is 3, and then divide. 3 3 is 9. 3 ratio 1 is the answer. Next. 20% of P is equal to now when we talk about only two numbers, P and Q, so we always do what is we send the values just below, we take the Q just below the P, means. But in the case of 3, like PQR, what we always do, we divide all the numbers, all the ratios with the LCM of the numbers given, like 20 15 12. I always tell you, do not write the question again, just imagine that 20 15 and 12, we have always what, the LCM 60. Okay, now just divide from 20 15 and 12 one by one. So if you divide by 20, so 20 3 ja 60, 15 4 ja 60, and 12 5 ja 60, 3 4 5. Jai Hind. Next question. 20% of M is equal to 80% of N. You're going to do this. I'm going to solve this. You can. So that was the level of ratio question that was asked. So do not worry, if you get the ratio question, you can solve it now. Okay. Let's move further on the more or less concept. What is that more or less concept? 80% of a number is 20 more than the 3/5 of the number. Find the number. I must tell you that we have always two kinds of the mathematics being asked by SSC CGL. One is arithmetic and one is advanced. So when we talk about arithmetic, it is the paper of, it is the means sum of, or the question of language. Okay, it is the question of language where you are going to understand, the question first before before attempting. Now I must tell you how you are going to do is, 80% of a number is 20 more than 3/5 of that number. So 80% of a number and then that number. So do you know what is a number, what is that number? No, we never know. Solve this with your basic understanding. This is not going to kill your time, but if you just make hurry, so you can get here wrong, and minus 2.5 is waiting for you there then. Let's go further. So 80% of a number, we don't know 80%, but we know 80% means 8 upon 10. 8 upon 10, that is 80%. You understand that? If you don't, you must know 80% means this. Even we can write 2 4 8, 2 5 10, 4 upon 5. 4 upon 5 you can write. But 10 is easy to solve. That's why I try not to just divide this. Now, 80% of a number. So 80% of a number is 20 more than 20 more. When they say more, add. When they say less, deduct. Means whatever it comes, then add 20. They are saying 20 more than 3/5. 3/5 of that number. Okay. Now here you can say 5. So 5. It means now here you need to write 5. It means 4 upon 5. You can solve this very easily. 4 minus 3, that is 1. 4 minus 3. Don't do this 4 upon 5 minus 3. Don't take the steps. 4 minus 3, that is 1 upon 5, and that is 20. Just send 5 there, and 20 into 5, 100. So the answer is option number B. Okay. This is also easy. You need to understand the question first. Now, if 50% of a number is 1.2 more than 35% of it, what is the number? You can solve in the same way. Okay. How we are going to do is 50% of a number. We don't know 1 by 2 of the number is 1.2 more than 35%. 35% means 7 upon 20 of the number. Okay. Now here you can see 7 upon 20, here 1 upon 10. So what would you do? Zeros. Multiply by 10. Now what would you do? Just now you can means minus that, deduct that. 10 minus 7, that is 3 x, and you know that 20 would go there. So 12 into 20. Just remove the decimal, and 12 into 2, that is 24. And here you can see x is equal to 8. It means the number is 8. 2 to 3 lines only. Now, next is if P is 30% more than Q. Now, when they talk about more or less, R is more than P and then. So here what you are going to do is, listen very carefully. What is going on? You must focus on the lines. P is 30% more than Q. First of all, P depends on Q. R is 25% more than P. It means R is depending on P. Now, then what is Q ratio R? It means finally they are not asking about P, but they are interested about R and Q. Okay. So just think that if Q is, so you can also write the ratios. Like there are two ways to solve this question. I'll tell you the first, then second. First way is P is 30% more. 30% means 3 upon 10. 30% means 3 upon 10. Okay. 3 upon 10. Now how do you see this? You always know this is the base value that you consider. So considering means more than Q means this value belongs to Q, and then this is more means this is added, then that value becomes the value of P. It means here you can see that P ratio Q is 13 upon 10. 10 belongs to Q, and then 10 plus 3 belongs to P. Now another ratio is R is 25% more. 25%. What is the ratio of 25%? So anybody can say, sir, 1/4. It means this is more plus 1. It means you are going to say that, sir, R divided by Q is equal to 4, and here we will have 5. What are we going to see now? What we are going to see now, that we have P here, we have P here. Okay. So that is 13 and that is 4. So we are going to just compare that. It means we will multiply with the number. Don't do this. Why? Because you know that the value is being asked for Q and R. For Q and R. So you always focus what? That, sir, if we are going to just multiply with any number here, that will be 13 for P. So it means R will carry 13. It means P ratio Q, Q ratio R. We should have 13 here. There is a single option number B where we have 13. Let's go for the next question. P is 40% more than Q, and Q is 25% more than R. Now, this question is different than the previous one. How? P is 40% more than Q. P depends on Q. Q is 25% more than R. Means here Q is depending on R, P is depending on Q. It means we have to not worry about R, means R is not depending on anyone. But the thing is, we are going to have this P ratio R, means Q is going to be removed. When Q is going to be removed, it means we need the multiple of Q. So let's see that what is the ratio of Q first of all, so that if there is a prime number, we will get the answers very soon. Now, 40% more, 40%. Sir, what is 40%? So always know that 40 upon 100. I'm not sure that nobody knows this. If you are here, you must be means knowing this 2/5. So don't write like this. Just always come with 2/5. So P ratio Q. So if it is 5, this is 7. We need 5. We need P ratio R. So P means here. I'm sure that this should be the answer. Why? Because we need P. And P is like this. Q is 5, then P is 7. Now Q is more. So Q ratio R. 25%. If you are 4, I'm 5. We don't need to manage anything because here we can see 5, 5 equal. That's why I said this should be the answer. You're not going to do anything. The multiple of 7 is single-handedly we can solve this question here like this. Don't need to write anything. I'm telling you how to solve the questions, and that's very tough, you know. Let me drink water. Till then you solve this question. Now see this question. This seems that very hard question. Why? Salary of A is 40% more than B's salary. First of all, this is the issue. Second, sir, if B's salary increases by 20% and A's is increases by X%, then A's new salary becomes 25% more than B's new salary. What is the value of X? Now see this question, how complicated this is, okay? But we are going to solve this in a very easy way. I told you that arithmetic means to read, to comprehend, and then move forward. Now, A's salary is 40% more. I told you 40% means 2/5. 2/5 means that if B has a salary of 500 rupees, I always say you to add 2 zeros because if we take the percentage of it, zeros are removed. Now, 500. So, if B earns 500, A earns 200 more, that is 700. If B's salary is increases by 20%. So 20% means 20 into 5, that is 100. It means 100. It means you can understand B has a new salary that is 600. Is that clear? Okay, sir. A's salary increases by X%. So what is the X% of 700? What is the X%? So you will say, sir, X% means 7X. How? X% of 7X. 700 into X upon 100. 7X. That's why I say always you to take that. So the increment is 7X. It means 700 plus 7X. Now, okay, sir, fine. Then A's new salary becomes 25% more than B's new salary. So what is the B's new salary? That is 600. Okay, sir. So you can say, then you can say that 1/4 more. 1/4 more. Okay. New salary, that is 700 plus 7X. You have to solve this simply, and the answer is there. So here you can get 100, and then this is 150, then 100 this side, then 50, and 7 this side, X. So 7 7s are 49. Don't need to solve this more. So this is how you are going to solve this question. So you have the answer this. Don't need to solve this much. Now, next question is the difference between 20% of a number and 10% of a number, the same number. Now, what people make mistake is they always consider X, so they also consider X in this question. they find the difference. So how they do, how they solve this and how they must solve. The difference between 20% of a number, then they think 20%, that is 1/5, 1/5 of a number, 1/10 of this number, difference is 120. They solve like this. You don't need to do this. Why? I must tell you. What would you do there? Now 2x minus x, that is 120, then 2x minus x, and then 1200. You don't need to do this. Why? I must tell you how. You have to solve this question. Don't solve like this. Sir, if we have the same number, it means just see the percentage gap, that is 10%. So 10% is equal to the number difference. It means 10% is equal to 120. So they have asked what is the number. So number is always 100%. Next question. Three numbers are such that the second is 120% of the first and the third is 75% of the second. What is the ratio of the first to third? When we read this question, most of the time what happens, some students, few students, they think that we don't have to solve this. They want themselves to stop for this and they don't want to solve this, move further, and sometimes they find this very complicated, but this is not that complicated. Three numbers are such that the second is 120% of the first. It is not about more or less. No, it is not about more or less. This is just 120% of the first and the third is 75% of the second. It means three numbers are such that the second is 120%. It means if it is 10, the first number, if it is 10, so that is 120%. 120% means 10 into 120%. It means two zeros will be always related. So I always say that two zeros. So if you are asking 120% of it, so only 12. Okay, sir. So the first number is this, second number is this, and the third is 75% of the second number. 75%. So 75%, you must know the ratio, and that is 3/4. 4 3s are 12, 3 3s are 9. 10, 12, 9. Whatever they are asking, you can tell. First to third. First to third. 10 ratio 9. Option number A. Not easy? Very, very easy. This question, the difference between 25% of a number 15. You can solve this question and you know the answer. 25 minus 15, 10. Use one more zero, answer number C. This is how you have to solve the question in the paper. Now, we have done two things, two types of percentage question being asked and were asked in the previous 24, 25 session. Now the third, increase and decrease. Are you finding it very difficult? This is how I'm going to tell you the each mathematics topic, that how you can go in a very simple way, very short way, and you will be scoring very great marks. Last year, just because of no reason, I went for appearing SSC CGL Tier-1, and I don't prepare for these exams. I don't prepare actually for the exams. I have been teaching for last 11 years. So I scored 47.5 in maths. One question by mistake, it was just a silly mistake, and otherwise 50 out of 50. So I can tell you that how you can score 50 out of 50 in mathematics easily. Just go with this. Percent increase and decrease. The radius of a circular plate is increased by 8%. Okay. What will be the approximate percentage increase in its area? Before we solve this question, I must tell you 2 to 3 things. Very first thing is that, sir, you must be aware of the shapes, whether it's 2D or 3D. What you are going to know about this? Before you solve the percentage question about the shapes, especially 2D and 3D, you must be aware of area, perimeter, and volume. Why? Because they make question on this area, perimeter, and volume. So you must be aware of this. I'm not going to teach you this right now, because I know that if you are solving this question, you are not a beginner, so you must be aware of what is the area of circle, what is the area of a square, rectangle, the perimeters as well, everything. And if you know, then tell me the perimeter of circle. Do we have, or we don't have? If we have, What is that? If we don't have, why not? The radius of a circular plate is increased by 8%. What will be the approximate percentage increase in its area? First of all, 1D, 2D, and 3D. What happens? They give you 1D data. 1D data means something happens like 8%. What is the fraction of 8%? That is, sir, 2 upon 25. 2 upon 25. Okay. So, increase. Increase means earlier the radius was this, the older, and the new radius is plus 2. It means 25. Radius was 25, the old, and the new radius is 2 more, 27. Now what they can ask you? They cannot ask you 3D in this because we do not have the volume of circle, so they will ask you the area. In the area, what happens? Pi r square. Pi is not taken here while solving the questions. Why? Because it's a constant, always divided. So we don't need this. So what do we need is the radius only. Okay, sir. 25, 27. This is 2D. When we talk about radius, this is 2D. Because, when we talk about area, this is 2D. It means one dimensional is radius, but area is two-dimensional. And that's why we are going to square. So the square of 20, when the radius was 25, then area was this. Now the radius is 27, the area will be this. So they are asking the percentage increase in its area. You can see there are two ways to do this again. How? 625, 729, and then you can see the difference. How much the difference is? 4 minus 9, then 0, and 104 upon 625 into 100. That's it. 104. Okay. Now, sir, how to solve this? 25 into 25, 25 into 4. Now you can see 4, 4, 16 and 4, 25. The question here is 4, 1, 6, 25. So 25 was a 25 and then 15, 40, 16. 166, 16 times. So 16.64 is the answer. Okay. So this is how you can solve this question. I was explaining you this. You might think that this is lengthy. This is not. Why and how? This is not lengthy. How you have to solve this in the examination? You just find 8%. You just write the ratio 2 upon 25. Then you understand 25 square and then 25 plus 2, 27 square. And then just you minus 104 divided by the earlier area and then 100. Solve this and you get the answer. Simple. Next. Circular park with 8-meter diameter is surrounded. Now, when they talk about diameter, always divide by 2. Have in my mind. Surrounded by a 0.5 meter wide path, what is the percentage increase in its in area? Can you solve this question? Just think how you'll solve this. Earlier it was 4. Now this is 0.5 meter wider means 4.5. So the square of 4 is 16. The square of 4.5. Now many of the candidates, they will get stuck here and they will think, yeah, 4.5, 4.5. So they multiply like this. You need to understand two things very clearly. What? If it is the 5, write 25 and then one number more, just after 4, that's 5. One number always, one more extra. So 4 plus 4 into 5, that is 20. So 20.25, that is the square of 4.5. You must be aware of the numbers like 25. Then you take 25 here and 2 into the next number, that is 6. 2 3 is 6. Okay. Now go with this. See the difference? 4.25 divided by 16 into 100. Simple. Let the 100 be there. Remove this decimal. Write 0 here, or else don't write 0 here. Remove this. So 4, 2, 5 and one more 0 is there, divided by 16. Solve this and you will get the answer. Now how to solve this? This is divisible by 2, so you can divide by 2. 8, 2 2 are 4, 2 1 is 2, 2 2 are 4, 2 5 is 10. And I can solve this. 8 2 is 16 and then 5, 52. So 8 6 ja 48. So 8 5 ja. So it means 26.56. This option, option number C. Okay, next question. If all three dimensions of cuboid, now here they are talking about cuboid. 3 dimensions means 3D. 3D means volume. Simple. It means you have to think about the cubes. Now, all the 3 dimensions of a cuboid are increased by 20%. The volume increased by what? You can solve this question very easily. Why, sir? 25% means 1/5. 1/5 means 5 to 6. 3 times. Sir, how the volume increased? 125, 216. Solve this question. How much? 6 minus 5, 1. 11 minus 9, 2, that is 9. 125 in 200. 5 times, 4 times. And then solve this. 4 1 is 4. And 36 divided by 5. 5 7 ja. When you write as 7, you see here the 7. Don't solve the question. Go further. These all the questions are from previous year, 26, 25, 24. Okay. The price of a product is decreased by X%, then increases by X%. The final price becomes 10% less than the original. What is the value of X? So can you think of this question? Answer. You got a minute to solve this. I'm coming. Solve this question. Solve this question. Could you? Now, the price of a product is decreased by X% and then increased by X%. And finally, what happened? If you have heard of successive, I could have taken this question in excessive, as I have taken the means topic excessive. But why? Because most of the time, what people get confused of, when they have a number, they understand about successive, but when they don't have a number, they get confused. So how they solve? And there are two ways. Listen. First, sir, decrease by 10%. It means 100 minus 10. That is the percentage. Okay, sir. Then increased. How increased, sir? 100 plus X% increment, and the final becomes 10% less, means 90%. So how you solve this? This is how you solve this. That goes there, then that becomes double zero, and then a square minus b square. So a square means 100 square, and that becomes this minus x square is equal to 9000. So 10,000 minus 9,000, that becomes 1,000 is equal to x square. So the value of x is, so you take the under root 1,000. Now how you can find the answer? There are the options. So you must be aware that 31 is 961, 32 is 1024 square. You must remember that, sir. Okay. So the number is not more than this, more than means less than 1024. It means 31.6. The surface area of a sphere increases by 21%. The surface area, what percent does it? Volume. What you have been given is 2D. What you are being asked is 3D. What you didn't get here, 1D. Now, 21% means 100 to 121. Is that clear? Why? Because this is 2D. So we take what? Sir, we take under root. We get one dimension. That is 10 and 11. Now you can do the cube because you wanted volume. So 1000, 1331, and you know that how this changes the answer from there. Simple. Next, an investment is made in a business in the first year gains 25%, second year loses 20%, and then the third year gains 10%, overall percent gain 10%. Sir, um, you finish the question, you finish this question literally. Always remember, if there is the increment of 25% and decrement of 20% or vice versa, they always get cancelled. So only 10% is left. That's why I chose this answer. Okay, sir, how? First year it gains 25%. It means it became 5 upon 4. Okay, sir. Then 25% less. It means that become 4 upon 5. And then 10% gain. That is 11 by 10. 10% gain. So why to write that? And then go in to solve again. 10% increment is left only. Both are done. So the answer is option number A. Next. Due to an error, shopkeeper increases the selling price of a 500 rupees item by 10% instead of decreasing it by 10%. What is the percentage increase the price due to the error? So what the error is all about? Sir, there was an item of 500 rupees. What I had to do is instead of 10% of decreasing by it increased. So they increased. Okay, sir. When you increased 10%, it means it became 550. 10% means 50%. What you had to do is you had to decrease it by 10%. If you had decreased 10%, it means 50, then it would have become 450. What error occurred? You wanted this, you did this. 100 rupees error out of 450. And that's it. Solve this. 5952. That is 200 upon 9. And you know the answer. That is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. You always remember this, okay? The population of a town increases by 5% annually if the current population is this after 2 years before. What you're going to do is listen carefully. When they say, either they say after or they ask about before. There are two options. When they say after, it means they are asking the added value means 5%. So what is the ratio of 5%, sir? That is 1 by 20. It means if they asked after, so they asked if today we have the population X, so after 2 years we will have 20 plus 1, 21 by 20, 21 by 20. When they ask, sir, 2 years ago or before 2 years, decrement, so it means how you have to go is go reverse. Reverse means 20 upon 21. Because population increased, then you coming reverse, so you have to take the reverse value of it. Okay, sir. So the question was 44100, 20 by 21, 20 by 21 2 times. If they asked about 3 years, 3 times. 21 into 21, that is 441. 2 into 2, 4. It means 40,000. Simple. Next. A village has male and females in the ratio this. After a few years, the male population increased by 15%, 20%. That's very easy. You can solve this question. How? 15 into 4, 60. 20 into 3, 60. So that's 460 and that's 360. So 23 and then 18. Divide by 2. Now, spherical balloon is inflated, causing its radius to grow. Radius. As they said radius, you get 1D. Now, by what percent surface area? They are asking 2D. 20% means 1/5, means 5 to 6, 2 times. Here is the answer. Sir, 25, sir, 36, sir, if you find The difference is 11.25, and you know that if you multiply by 100 you get 4, that is 44. 11 into 4. Next, the area. They have given area means 100 to 169. They're asking length means they are asking you to just take what, the root value of it, 10 to 13. You understand this? 30%. Not easy. Very easy. How? 3 by 10 into 100. Next, a value was mistakenly decreased by 10% instead of increasing by 10%. So by what percent is the final result less than the correct? Okay, fine. So what they are asking, that a value was mistakenly decreased by 10. Suppose the value was 100, it was decreased by 10, it means that came to 90. What is to be done was to increase. Okay, sir. If you had increased 110, what happened actually, sir? We got loss of 20 on this. I just told you 2 by 9 means 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. When sometimes there is an error on any electric things, like even my washing machine, sometimes it does. So 2 by 9. The volume of a sphere is V. Here you have given only V. If the radius of the sphere is tripled, volume increase. Tripled means earlier it was R, now this is 3R. They are asking what happened to the volume. Sir, R means 1, 3 means now cube. 3 cube means 27. Okay, so 1 to 27. 26 increased divided by 1 into 100. So, sir, that is answer number C. Next, the volume of a sphere is, this is the same question, repeated. A value is increased by 30%, then decreased by, and no percentage returned to its value. What percentage? This is very easy question. If a value that is increased by 30% means from 10, you just made it 13. Okay, you want it to return, then do minus, means deduct from the same number. So you need to come back 3 steps from the current value and then percentage. So 13 to ja 26, then 40, 13, 3. Option number A. Next question. If the selling price of an item is increased by 25%, then the profit also increases from 20% to 30%. That's very good question. If the selling price of an item increased by 20% and the profit also, here profit is increasing from 20 to 30. It means earlier the profit was 20%. 20% means you sold this like this. The CP was 100 and then your SP was 120. Why? Otherwise you will not get 20% profit. Okay, sir. Now what happened when selling price of an item is increased by 25%? 25%, sir, 1/4 means 30, so that becomes 150. Okay, sir. So in this case the profit becomes 30%. Profit becomes 30%. So how you calculate CP? So the new SP is 150. Now they're asking the increment in the cost price. So now this is 150 SP and the profit is 30%. Profit is 30%. It means the CP was 10 and SP got 13. Then 30%. Okay, sir. So now what you want is CP. So you just multiply this number by 10 upon 13. I just told you before, profit, and then just get back to the number you wanted. Okay, sir. So for getting back, you need to solve this. So 1500 divided by 13. So you get the new CP here. New CP here. Sir, okay, 13 1 13. And then 220, 13 1 13, 70, 13 5 65. And then 13 3 ja. Okay. So here you can see the answer directly. And earlier CP was 100, now 115 point something. So it means that the profit is the new difference is from 115.3 and 38. It means here will come 8. Option B. Okay. Next, if the radius of a cylinder is increased, radius 1d, always have in mind 1d, and its height is also one dimensional. Okay, so that increases by 20. Okay, sir. What is being asked in its volume? So the cylinder's volume. Now I told you that you must know the volume, area, etc. So the volume of cylinder is pi r square h. We don't need pi. So r1 square h1, r2 square h2. This is what we need. This is what actually happened. So the radius increased means 10 to 11. So earlier 10 square and the height was 20% increment means it was 5 now 6, so 5. Now 10 to 11 and that is 5 to 6. This is what they are asking. So 500 and this is 121 into 6. 6. This is the increment. How much? 500, so 226. 226 divided by 5, because for 100 you will just deduct these two zeros. So 5 4s are 20, 5 5s are 25, 45.2 answer. So this is how you solve these questions. Go for the next. Solve this question. The price of diesel increased by 6% before the increase. The price was 85 per liter. Travels it. Okay. Have you read the question? The price of a diesel increased by 6%. Price increment 6%. Before the increase, the price was 85 per liter. A person travels 2,880 kilometers every month, and his vehicle gives a mileage of 12. Okay, sir. So it means how much liter does he use? So this much kilometer he goes in a month, and the bike gives 12 kilometer per liter. So sir, 12 to ja 24 and then 4, 48. 4 ja 240, and now the number is 6%. So 85, 6% of 85. 6% of 85 and multiply by this. So I'll solve it here. 240 into 6 upon 100 into 85. 10 by this. 5 2 is 10, 5 17, and then 2 here becomes 12. Okay, so 12 into 6 into 17. 17 into 6, 102 into 12. So 10 times and then 2 times. That become 1224, because the unit digit will be 4. So the next type is simple percentage based. Okay, we are going to solve this easily, and here you can see the first question, that is 15 is to 1 upon 3 percentage of 480 kilometer, and then 58 is to 1 by 3 of 300 kilometer. Okay, so how you are going to solve this? First of all, so I must tell you, in this particular scenario, when you find that it's a fraction percentage, so try to change the percentage, like give percentage to this. Like when we write 15 is to 1 upon 3% of 480 kilometer, you can also write this is equal to 480% of 15 is to 1 upon 3. So you can solve like this. So we are going to do this, and you can try like this until I solve. You should complete that. Okay. So here we can see 480%. When you talk about percent, then 10 will be divided, and then 15 is to 1 upon 3, that is 46 upon 3. Okay, and then plus similarly 300%, it means 3 into 58 is to 3, 174. 175 upon 3. This is how you have to solve this. Okay. Now you can solve like 3 into 16, 48, 3, 3, done. Now you can multiply by this and then finally you'll be dividing after the LCM. Okay, so 16 is to 46. So multiply this. This would be 6 into 6, 36. 3 carry. Then cross multiply 4 6 are 24 plus 1 into 6 6. 30 plus 3 33. 30 3 is carry. Then 4 into 1 4 plus 3 7. So 7 3 6 divided by 10 plus 175. Now what you can do is just remove this 0, put point here, and then add. So 73 you have to add it. So 175 plus 73. 5 3 8 7 7 14 and then 2 and then 0.6 to 48.6 option numbers. You can solve this. This is just normal percentage. Similarly, we are going to solve like this. 74. Once you learn, this becomes easy. 75 into 4 minus 32.5 into 2 plus 18 into 3. This is what we are going to solve. Okay. 75% it means 400% of 75. 200% of 3.5. So just multiply. This will be 300 minus this will be 65. This will be 54. Then 300 and this value 311. Minus 11. So 300 minus 11. That is 280. Okay, option is. Next is 4.5% of 6. Just multiply 4.5 into 6. 27. Next question is a container holds 4,000 milliliters of liquid. If its full capacity is 0.008 kiloliters, what percentage is empty? So they are asking the empty percentage. So in this case, 4,000 ml. This is ml. So 4,000 ml. Now 0.008 kiloliter. How you change this into ml? 1,000 into 1,000. It means 6 zeros. 3 zeros are done. This becomes 8 and then 8,000. So 4,000 upon 8,000 into 100 for percentage. 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is 400 upon 8. 8 5 50%. Next. A cylinder radius and height is given, is bored by a hole. There is radius 3 centimeter and full height means 12 centimeters taken. Percentage of original volume given. How much percentage is the required? So just imagine that earlier volume was pi r square h. You can think like pi r square. We don't need pi. R square h it means 25 into 12 earlier. Now, how much is removed? 3 square, it means 9 into 12 into 100. That's it. 12, 12, 4 times and then 4 into 9, 36%. Option 1. Next question, a bag contains 20% red, 30% green, and the rest blue balls. Okay, 20% red, 30% green. What percentage of the balls are left? Blue. 50. Simple. And if there are 80 blue balls, 80 total number of balls into, because we want 100% ball, so 50 into 200, 80 into 2, 160. Next question. These are very easy questions. You can solve. A man spends 30% of his salary on rent, 20% on groceries, and 25% on other expenses. If the salary is, how is this possible? What is his salary? If the salary is, it means 20% on other expenses. This is not. If the other expenses would be 90, this should be the question. So 30 other expenses are the left. This should be the left. The rest amount. The rest amount is 90,000. So 30%, 20%, 25%. So how much is left? 25% left, and that is equal to this much, 90,000. Let's solve this. So this will be 1% will be, you know how to solve this. Most of the students, what they do, they just think that this is 19,000 and they have to solve 25. They solve like this. They divide this firstly 3 times and then like this. Don't do this. I must tell you a very good way to solve this type of question. If it is 90,000, take 900 into 100 and then divide by 25. This becomes very easy. 4 times and then 4 into 9, 3600. Okay, and then this is the value of 1%. So 100% means 2 zeros. It means 2 zeros. 36,000. Next. Out of this total monthly income, a man spends 50% on food and household expenses, 20% on rent. The remaining is spent on other miscellaneous items. What percentage of his income is spent on these other? Okay. 50. A man spends 50% on food and household expenses 20%. So 50 plus 20, 70 done. Then 30% is left. They are asking that the remaining is spent on other miscellaneous items. What percentage of his income is spent on these other items? Other means miscellaneous. So 30% out of 100 into 100, and this is very easy question. 30% is left. That is the answer. Feels very confusing but complex, but very easy. A bag contains 20% red balls, 30 green, and rest blue balls, 80. We have done this question. Next, students scored 80% in one subject and 60% in another. Both subjects had equal maximum marks. What is the overall percentage? This question is very tricky. Most of the candidates cannot think how to solve this question because the student scored 80% in one subject. 80% he has scored in one subject, then 60% in another subject. Both subjects have equal minimum marks, maximum marks. Overall percentage. Now, how will you find the overall percentage? So, as this line gives you the picture, the clear picture, that is equal maximum marks. So, what you need to do is just divide them by 2 because they are two subjects. You'll get the final percentage. So, 2 divided by 8 plus 6, 14, that is 70%. Simple. Next. So, one type is done. Next is income and expenditure. I must tell you that before we solve this, you must be aware of this type, income and expenditure. But I must tell you that income is something that we earn. Then we spend some money, that is expenditure. And then savings. The savings and expenditure all included becomes the income. So three terms are here. They'll give you sometimes the income, expenditure will ask the change in savings, sometimes means any two parts of this particular system, particular income expenditure question, any two of these three you can be given, and then rest one thing is asked. Let's go with the question, and the question is due to inflation. Wow, when inflation went like this. So due to inflation, a man spent 75% of his income. Now, when they say 75%, so you must be aware of the fraction of 75%. That is 3/4. It means if his income is 4, spends means the expenditure of the person is 3. So the person earns 400 rupees, he spends 300 rupees, saves 100 rupees. That's very simple. His expenses increase by 20%. So 20% means 60 rupees increment. His income increases by 10%, means 40. What is the percentage change in his savings? So you can see that the change is minus 20. Why minus 20? 40 rupees increased in salary, but the expenditure 60 rupees. It means that earlier, whatever his savings was, now he will not be able to save 20 rupees now. So 20 out of 100 is 20% decrement. Simple. Next question. A man spends 70% of his income increases by 10% and his expenditure by 5%. What is the percentage increase in his savings? Very easy question. I know you can solve this. Will you solve this or not? A man spends 70% of his income. That's very simple. 7 by 10. The fraction is 7 by 10. If he earns 70, he spends earns 100, he spends 70, saves 30. Now his income increases by 10%. It means 10. And his expenditure by 5%. Increases 5%. And that is 5% of this 3.5. What in the increment in percentage? So how much percent increment? So that is 6.5, right? So 6.5 increment out of 30. 6.5 200 0, and then 65 upon 3. Then 3 2 just 6, 3 1 just 3. 21 point and then 67. Option 1. Is that clear? So that's very easy. What most of the candidates do, they solve this like this 100, then 10% increment. Then they solve like this 10% increment, 110, 70, then 3.5% increment, 73.5, then 30, and then they solve like this. Why are you doing this? The best method is there. An employee contributes 25% of his salary to charity. From the remaining amount, 20% is allocated to investments. Now, 20. First of all, what they have given is travel expense. That is 9,000, and that is 3. That is 3. Now we have to find that what is the percentage of this. 5:3. It means out of 5 plus 3, 8. 8 is 9,000. Okay. Sir. Now we have to find that what is the percentage of this ratio. Sir, 25% is done. So how much left? 75% is left. Okay. Out of that, it means 75% is left. It means, sir, this is 3/4. Okay, sir. 20% is allocated out of this. 20% is allocated means 1/5. So what is left? So out of 1/5, if 1 is done, then 4/5 is left. 4/5 left. Okay, sir. So this is what is left, and this is what this percentage is. So what percent is left? 4 to 4, 350. What is the percentage of 350 into 100? So you know that 60%. So this is the value of 60%. This is the value of 60%. Okay. So you can say that This is 60%. 60%. Okay, sir. So 0, 0, and then this becomes 900 into 100 and 18. 18, 5, 90 into 8 into 5, 40. So this will become 40%. That's very simple. Okay. I need to explain you one more time again that you must not be able to understand what I have done in this question, and how you have to solve this. 25% is done. We don't need this. This is done. This data is no more useful. What is left is 75%. What is the ratio of 75%? That is 3. Out of that, 20% is also allocated. So 20% is allocated. It means 1/5 is allocated. Okay, sir. Then what is left? Always be minus from 1 because 1 is called 100%. So that is left 5 minus 1. 4 upon 5 is left. Left means out of, listen, the rest is, means what is left? The rest is the ratio of 5:3. Okay, sir. So this is 5:3. So what is the percentage left? 3/5. 3/5 means 60% is left. And that 60% is 5:3. And out of that, the expense on travel means if the total expense is 5 plus 3, 8, out of that, 3 out of that is 9,000. So this is how we have to solve this. And simply this will give you the answer. So 60% of 3, 8 is 9,000. You have to solve, then 1% becomes like that. And finally, you get the 100%. Okay. Next question. A man spends 75% of his income. 75, 3, 4. Okay. It means 400 earns, 300 spends, then 100 saves. His income has increased by 20%, means 80 rupees, but his expenditure remains the same. It means there is no change. By what percentage have his savings increased? Now we need to add this, or else you can say that what is the difference between this and S1? So this is 300. What is left is 180. 180. Earlier it was saving 80, now it will be saving 180 because expenditure is not increased. So 80% increment. Simple. Option number C. Now this is the last type, and you have almost done the percentage. Any question that comes in your tier 2 SSC CGL, tier 1 SSC CGL, you can solve that. So you are at the last position of solving the percentage at the end. Do not miss this and do not leave it, because successive also plays very important role. I know that you must be aware of this, but you need to understand the level of questions and you must try if you know. Like a buyer gets 2 successive discounts of 20% and 10% on 1,000 item. What is the price paid? So there is a rupees, that is 1,000. So what discount is he getting? 20 and 10 successive. So what is the successive of 20 and 10? On how you have to solve this? So first of all, you must be aware of A plus B plus AB divided by 100. You must be aware of this. Okay, sir. 20% discount means minus 20 minus 10, then minus plus 20 into 10 upon 100. You can calculate this in your mind always, that if there are 2 discounts, they will be adding up 30 plus the multiplication of this number, and 2 zeros will be deducted just because of 100. Is that clear? So you don't need to write this line again and again. Just go with this. So 30 minus plus 2. It means the actual percentage is 28% discount. So what will he be paying is don't take 25, don't take 25% of 1,000, then remove, means then deduct it, then minus it. Don't do this. Just think that 72% you will be paying for this. And you know that if you are taking the percentage, remove 2 zeros, multiply 72 into 10, that is 720. This is the answer. Next question. A laptop originally priced at 40,000 is sold after 2 successive discounts, 15 and 10. Now again, solve this. 15 plus 10, that is 25, and 15 into 10, this will be 1.5 because we do not have two zeros. One zero will be deducted, 1.5 will be left. Okay, so out of 25 you have to deduct 1.5. So 1.5 plus 5, 2, and then 23. Okay, so 23.5 you have to deduct out of 40,000. So don't do this. I have already told you that you have to find always like 0.5, 24 plus 6, 30, and then 70. So you have to find the 76.5%. And when we talk about percent, one more zero for this decimal, and then 4 into this value you have to multiply. So multiply with 4 and then add 0. So 0 add earlier, then 4 into 5, 20, 4 into 6, 24 plus 2, 26, 4 into 7, 30. 30,600. Option number 8. Next. The price of a product is decreased by X% and then increased by X%. The final becomes 10% less. We have solved this question earlier. That's it. So finally you have completed the percentage chapter. Okay. You are 99% ready for any percentage question. Why 99%? 1% could be asked from the different aspects of percentage. Means topics, as we haven't practiced the all topics, but all the topics which have been asked in previously 2024 and 2025 especially. So 99% you are almost prepared for this, and what you need to do is revise this topic and revise the number of questions on this topic. If you want, I can provide you the PDF of this class as well, so that you can practice these all the questions. Okay, listen, limited practice can get you the success. Practicing unlimited and this without any strategy can lead you to stress and anxiety, which will reduce your performance. Is that clear? So tell me in the comment box, how was the first class of this, and do you want me to go for the further topics of mathematics? So I'll be just doing that. Apart from this, if you want English, same pattern, same based on some same strategy that we have to go through, then I'll be definitely preparing for that. Okay, almost I'm ready for almost the things, but you need to just allow me to do that for you. And so meet you in the next video. Till then, take care, have fun. Jai Hind.